Are we ready for timing? Excellent. First up, Vivint.
And is it this one? That's right. Okay, great. I'm David Bywater. I am the COO, Chief Operating Officer for Vivint. I am really excited to be here. Look, it can be intimidating being a man talking to 400 highly accomplished women. Very intimidating to be the first one in the gauntlet. I luckily have 5 sisters, no brothers, and 4 of my last 7 bosses were female. So I feel very comfortable being in a room where expectations are high. So good to be here. Look, our head of HR is my partner at driving diversity at Vivint. She's on vacation, Star Fowler in Hawaii, so I got the honor to do this, but I'm passionate about it. I am the executive sponsor of diversity at Vivint. The reason why is my past. I worked for Bain, and our chairman was Orit Gadesh. We got to the point where globally, Bain had 40% of their entire workforce as women. Pretty amazing in a male-dominated industry. I then worked for Ursula Burns for many years as the COO of Xerox. Ursula at the time was the first black female CEO of Fortune 500 company, and diversity mattered to us. We drove diversity every day. The reason why, it was the right thing to do, and it was really good for business. So when I joined Vivint 3 years ago, I said, you know what, we can do a lot better. So we started our journey, and I'm excited about our journey. For those of you who don't know Vivint, what we do is we bring technology to the home. We make the home smart, whether it's safety, whether it's efficiency, whether it's enjoyment. And it's really important for us to do this. But the challenge with this is this. Turn this on. The challenge is that 89% of the decisions in a home around consumer electronics is from a woman. In fact, if you also look at the amount of spend last year on consumer electronics, over half was made by females. The problem is only 1% of females feel like the manufacturer of those products had them in mind. There's a huge disconnect. And if we don't figure this out at Vivint, we're going to lose. And if you don't figure it out in your companies, you're going to lose. Your leadership, your employee base has to reflect your consumer base. And we had a problem at Vivint to do this. So we launched our journey, and our journey has been a good one so far. In the last year alone, we increased, among our full-time employees, about 5,000 employees. We're the largest high-tech company in the state of Utah, about 5,000 employees. Women went from 26% to 29%. You might say, is that good or bad? Well, put it in context. Google is at 30%. Apple is at 30%. Twitter is at 30%. And we live and work in Utah, not the West Coast. So making this progress has been significant. We increased it by 3% last year. Google increased it by 1%. It's a lot of hard work, and the way we did it was by making it a focus for us. Another thing we made a big progress in this year was over 40% of our promotions to the director level were females in 2015. We're making a big dent. But the reason why we're doing it is because it's the right thing to do, and it makes a big difference for how successful we are. But I gauge how engaged our employees are. We did a survey last year. We had 84% of all of our employees participate, which is incredible. That is incredible. Women and men were equally engaged, and the 2 things that really stood out to me were 2 metrics in particular. The first was over 80% of our females felt like we were extremely flexible in how we had a work environment for them, which was higher than what the men said, which was interesting. But the one that I was most proud of was that over 84% of our women said that they were pleased or very pleased with the job advancement opportunities at Vivint, which also was higher than our men. What other company do you know in Utah, in the United States, or in the country can say that, where women are more encouraged by their job advancement opportunities than the men? Very few. We're very proud of that. So bringing it home, last week I was with our field service organization. In our field organization, there's a woman named Valerie Carson, and she runs a large portion of our techs. And I asked her to talk to the group about what it's like to be a very successful female in an environment where historically has been dominated by men. And she said, you know, David, I love Vivint. And the reason why I love Vivint is because you gave me the chance that nobody else would give me, and you've never treated me different. She goes, it's always been an equal opportunity for me. That matters to me. Out in this group right now, if you look underneath your chair, we have about 150 stories of the women of Vivint and what they're doing. It's their personal stories. If you pick it out, look at it, pass it around, and you will see what they're doing, what they're experiencing, what they're proud of doing. And I'm very proud of the women that are making a huge difference for us. The reason why it matters for us is because we are trying to redefine the smart home environment. We have to actually win in this marketplace. And the reason why we've been so successful, because our growth is so explosive, is because we are doing a better job of making sure our leadership, making sure our decision makers, making sure our employee base reflects our consumers. And we're doing a better job, and we're having great accolades. I got 4 seconds. We would love to have you guys be part of our story. Vivint is on fire. It's a rocket ship. And if you're interested, please talk to our folks, especially if you'll email Kimberly Whitman at vivint.com. We have so many opportunities and so much growth, and we definitely need you to be part of our story. Thanks.
So great job, David. I love the cards and the personal touch, focusing on the individuals and their own stories. Really like that. So specifically with respect to the 84% number you mentioned, which is women that are happy with the career advancement opportunities at Vivint, how do you attribute that? What are the tools that you guys use to drive to such a high number?
You know, one of the things we've been trying to do is make it explicit. We've acknowledged there was a problem, and we acknowledged we need to get on the journey, and we challenged our entire leadership team to make a difference. Now, if you look at our leadership team, it's still white male. But if you look at the heart and soul of our company, it's changing significantly. And we demand a lot from our employees, and we reward our employees. And we challenge everyone to say, you guys can do a much better job. You need to do a better job. We expect you to do a better job. And so now today, the head of our monitoring operations, the head of our PR organization, head of our HR organization, the list goes on and on and on, where we now have significant leadership roles across our company, where we have phenomenal results and we have a much more balanced approach than we've ever had before. So if you don't make it explicit and you don't hold people accountable, you're not going to move the needle. It's just talk.
Great, thank you.
Nice job, David. My question is around recruiting and branding yourself, the company, as an employer of choice for women. This was very impactful, but clearly you can't put this in a virtual sense, kind of under everybody's chairs in their homes. So how do you speak to women in a scaled way to invite them to join the Vivint team?
It's a great challenge that we have. Like I said, I think we're making a lot of progress. For us, it's very targeted. The most important thing that we can do is have the women of Vivint be our ambassadors. And so, as I mentioned earlier, one of the things we've been really working on this year is we've improved our maternity benefits and paternity benefits significantly. We put in a mentoring program. We put in a HIPAA program. We put in a leadership program. And the representation of male and female is over-ratioed on females. But also, more importantly, we have been very proactive on making sure we have pay equality. So on a monthly basis, Star Fowler comes into my office and she says, I've identified discrepancies. We need to make these things right. And we proactively go out and we make those equality movements happen. Nobody asked us. And so what we found is the women of Vivint in leadership and non-leadership are saying there's something different about this organization. Not only are they successful, not only are they profitable, not only are they growing like crazy, but they're taking care of their people. And I think as we do that on an individual level, they talk. And as they talk, we recruit. And as they recruit, we improve. And as we improve, we perform better.
So first off, thank you for letting me be a judge. This is the closest I'm ever going to get to being a judge on American Idol, and it's awesome.
By the way,
I can't dance or sing, so.
Aren't you?
She's
That makes
Randy.
me Paula. That sucks.
Am I Harry then?
Wait, we're going way back. We are. You
Oh yeah,
Simon.
I'm clearly out of date.
Anyway, so I loved your personal story, about just you personally, the commitment to your family and your career path. The things that really stuck out to me is, and the question I would have for you, and I also love these as a marketer, making things personal is great. You guys already commented on that, but there's been a lot of studies recently about millennials specifically are leaving their jobs female millennials within a short amount of time, and it's the number one reason is lack of opportunity. And one of the stats that impressed me most of this is the 42% promotions. There's also a bunch of studies about how women don't ask for promotions, women aren't pushing for promotions as much as men, and that's an impressive number for me. Can you talk a little bit about what you did as a company to get the 42% promotions being women who are promoted?
Well, what's interesting, a stat that goes along with that, turnover in tech especially is a problem. And one of the stats we asked in our engagement survey was, how likely are you going to be at Vivint in a year? And over 85% of our women said they have every intention to be with us for over another year, which was impressive for us, right? It's about stickiness. People stay where they have impact, right? When the company has impact and when they have impact. The best thing that we're doing is focusing on that impact at a macro and a micro level. And so as long as we can continue to focus on that and people know that they're having a massive impact, we hired our last fellowship program was MIT, Harvard, Stanford. And out of Stanford alone, I think 4 of the 5 that we hired were all females. And when they came in, the amount of responsibility that we gave them and what they did just for over a 3-month period was insane. We gave them a challenge to build a $1 billion company. And we've kicked out now 3 $1 billion companies, right, recently. They couldn't believe that we gave them that responsibility as an intern, let alone our employees, where we challenge them every day to challenge the status quo. What we don't like is complacency. What we love is challenge. And so for us, females that have come into our organization and we challenge them to do that, they're staying with us. And when they stay with us, it's easy to promote because they move the needle. We measure results. We're very results driven. And when the results are demonstrative to say those females deserve being promoted, they're being promoted. And it's a focus. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivint.
Okay, so the category is the top company for career development, focused on women, and if hopefully he's still here, but the winner of this category is, drum roll please. Thank you, Vivint, David Bywater. As we reflected on that as the judges panel, the proof is in the pudding, you guys. 84% of the women at Vivint said that they felt like they had a great career opportunity and development opportunities there at the company, and 42%, if I have my numbers right, of promotions were women. So fantastic work. Congratulations again to you guys.